Chelsea legend Didier Drogba has been disqualified from contesting in the upcoming elections to be the next president of Ivory Coast Football Federation. This is due to two of the names Drogba had submitted as sponsors were ruled not to have the necessary authority to do so. Welcome back to the sports segment of the weekend show. I am Amanda Soki.
And I am Ayo Adams. History makers. Jawahi Robo becomes the first ever female UK referee, and also Amy Perez refed our first Super Rugby game yesterday night. Well, it's good to see female in sports. Last week we spoke about Aishat Oshoala, and this week we have Jawahi Robo becoming the first female Muslim referee in the UK, and also we have Amy Perez, the mother of one. She's been a ref for a long time, but now one of the major ones is the Super Rugby games, and she was the ref yesterday. Also, Victor Osimhen scored 3 goals in his first 8 minutes for Napoli yesterday. That was a good start for him in Napoli. Napoli fans are really, really happy, and Nigerians are excited to see he had a great start to the season. And then the Community Shield is happening later today by 4:30, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Amanda, who do you think will win that game?
I'm going to say, I think Arsenal is going to win them. I don't know why, but I'm just going for Arsenal for some reason. I don't think Liverpool is going to play the match wholeheartedly, and I think Arsenal is going to take the match more seriously, and that's why, for me, they might sneak a win.
Well, listening to Jurgen Klopp said we are not defending the title this season, we are attacking it. So I don't think he's coming to mess with Arsenal, making back to the fact that Arsenal beat him in the Premier League. When they came back from the lockdown, from the virus. And now you have them playing the Community Shield. Do you think Jurgen Klopp is going to let Arsenal just go ahead like that?
It's not about letting them go ahead. I just feel, though Jurgen Klopp just came out and made that statement, well, at least it does show some seriousness, because most times a lot of managers don't really take it serious. But I'll still just stick to my guts and feel like Arsenal, I feel they would carry it like a serious trophy and definitely win that match. So still on England, Gareth Southgate released his England squad that will be facing Iceland and Denmark in next month's Nations League. Of course, there were some great additions such as Mason Greenwood and Phil Foden got their first call-ups. I'm so happy for Mason Greenwood. Of course, he's our Manchester United wonder kid. So from the list of players, of course, there were some omissions like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Jack Grealish. So many names were omitted. Who do you think, out of all the players that didn't make it, who do you believe deserved a spot in that England team?
Well, the very first spot for me would go for Grealish, then Maddison, and then Saka. Grealish was exceptional this season. I mean, like, a lot of clubs wanted him to come play for them. Even Manchester United went in January to get him. And then Maddison also the same thing. He was an exceptional midfielder. I mean, after De Bruyne in the Premier League, I think I would go for Maddison for last season. Then Bukayo Saka busted into light after Mikel Arteta came. And you would wonder why these names were dropped. If you look at the list, there is no left back on that squad. And then it's not a new thing to see coaches use two right backs. I mean, Guardiola has exploited Cancelo and Walker on the right backs, but then you're wondering what Southgate is doing, leaving out those names. I know that Ben Chilwell is injured, but then I mean Saka could have stepped up to it. He's a young lad. He's vibrant. I mean, there were other names that people didn't expect that were there. I mean, Wan-Bissaka was left out, and then Mason, and then Grealish, and then Maddison. But for me, I think Grealish first, Maddison second, and then Saka third.
Okay, I think we're on the same page with that. Grealish, for me, should have made that squad. He had an amazing season. He had 8 goals, 6 assists. He was second behind Kevin De Bruyne in most created chances in the EPL. He had a total of 91 created chances, which is second in the league, and number 4 in Europe. He was actually above Messi in creating chances. So it's sad to see him left out. Although I understand why he was left out was due to, the left wing spot being taken by Raheem Sterling and Rashford. So, and speaking on left backs, unfortunately for England, the left backs are all injured. Like you mentioned, Luke Shaw is also injured, but they have great players like Ryan Bertrand who can, step up. But I guess England manager is stuck in his ways. And speaking more on England, Manchester United captain Harry Maguire has been dropped from the England squad. I believe it's a great decision because he has been found guilty of charges of aggravated assault, resisting arrest, and repeated attempts of bribery. I mean, this seems like a movie to me, so it's such an embarrassment. But although Harry Maguire has come out in an interview pleading his innocence, he told BBC in an interview that he feared for his life and he thought he was going to be kidnapped. I mean, listening to this story I'm finding it like it's turning into a movie. It's reminding me of this Josie Smollett story that happened in America. I mean, I don't know if you don't know the story, please go and check out who Josie Smollett is. You understand why? Because right now it's turning into a soap opera with Harry Maguire. And Manchester United is standing to not remove him as our captain. That's interesting. Do you think it's a good decision to keep him as our captain?
Well, it's left for the coach to make his decision. He should not be, he shouldn't concern himself with other things. But Harry Maguire is the captain. He should have done better. But then the stories are not adding up. The first story we heard was his sister got stabbed, and then the next story is they're about to break his legs. But then they found him guilty. It's good for Southgate to drop him so all the mess can be sorted out. He apologized and said he feels that he's not guilty. But then it's left to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if he wants to remove him as his captain or leave him as his captain. Well, that is all. Harry Maguire should do better in defending in the Manchester United post than outside the field.
Exactly, yes. And Gareth Barry retires from football at 39. Don't forget, Gareth Barry actually has the Premier League record for most appearances with 653 appearances in the Premier League. He played for Aston Villa, played for Everton, and of course played for Manchester City. If there's anything Gareth Barry was known for, he was Mr. Consistent and dependable.
Yeah, Gary Barry was a great player. It was a really great one. And it's sad to see him go at 39, but he has done all his best for football. I think it's time for him to rest. And still on the Premier League, the Premier League is considering a halt next season if there is an unforeseen circumstance of a second wave of the COVID-19. So what they are saying is if 50% of the games have been played and there is an unforeseen circumstance, there is a COVID outbreak again, whoever is on top of the table will win the league and the bottom three will go to relegation. But that does not sit right with me. I don't think with a lot of people, but it's still in consideration. Do you think that if 50% of the fixtures have been played, then the person who is on top wins the league and then the last three gets no chance and they just go like that? Do you think, because we've seen things go to the final days and then people turn around things, is that a good thing for consideration at all? Not even think of making it a rule?
No, I don't agree with that. Like you mentioned, last season there was full-out drama towards the end of the season. Manchester United, before the COVID break, we were in fifth position, and after COVID, we found ourselves in third position, and we won the league, and we were able to make it to Champions League. So, using 50% of matches to me is not right. At least 80, 90, if not, just instead of picking a winner, just cancel the league, the season, and no winners or whatever. But trying to pick out a winner just by playing 50% of the matches, I don't agree with that statement at all. Yes.
And still on that, we have Paul Pogba, Usain Bolt, and Ndombele, and 6 other Chelsea players have been tested positive for the COVID-19. I think they should monitor these players well. We don't want another wave of the COVID, and it's easier to spread among these players. They are on vacation, they've met people. What is going on? Why are they not being put under proper check? Some of them have tested negatives. That means they have been having contact with certain people they should not. And you start to ask yourself, should athletes be testing positive at this time? This is a real scare for people. It was causing a real scare. People asking themselves, Ndombele, Pogba, and Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is the fastest man in the world, and he can't outrun Corona. So it's not good.
Of course, but at the same time, don't forget players, they actually went on vacation, so it's expected that while on vacation they're enjoying themselves. But I mean, if this was going to happen, they should have taken precautions. And also Chelsea players, about 7 of them tested positive for coronavirus. So I don't even know how they will be able to start the league if their players do not, test negative right before they start the league. So I don't know if this would actually affect the Premier League kicking off September 12th. So it's interesting to see. And also Wan-Bissaka too has been put on isolation because he has to, before he joins the team, he has to do his test. So a lot of question marks right now on if you affect the league or not. So it's interesting to see how the Premier League is going to handle that, because this is just the beginning. More athletes are still going to come back from vacation since the season will soon start. So hopefully they get everything in control and move on from it.
I think they should be reasonable enough. These coaches, the directors of the club should be reasonable enough to tell them that stay put, be safe, because you guys are like, you make most contact with people. You play a counter sport, so you should keep yourself in check. And still on players, we have Daley Blind recovered from a heart attack he suffered earlier in the week. He sent out a tweet saying he thanks everybody who sent him good remarks, who wished him well, that he's fit and he's ready to play. And now that's Daley Blind up there on the screen telling you that he's fit and he's ready to play again. I think there's something wrong with his defibrillator.
Yes, they said that his defibrillator went off, but we thank God that he was able to still walk off from the pitch despite dropping off. So that's great news for Daley Blind, and I hope it doesn't affect his football career. So moving forward, great news, as you all know. Bayern Munich are crowned the 2019 champions of the Champions League. So congratulations, they won PSG 1-0, and the goal was scored by Kingsley Coman. So, and this is going to be Bayern's 6th time winning the Champions League, which ties them in 3rd position in the all-time list with Liverpool for the Champions League. And of course, our very own Manchester United legend Cristiano Ronaldo won the goal of the tournament in the Champions League for his stunning strike against Lyon. So let's check out the video.
For the correct prediction from the fans' corner, we have at Nathaniel and 1 predicted 1-0 Bayern Munich 1 PSG 0. Well, you can say I think amongst all like the 20 to 40 response he got,
yes.
he was on mark.
Yes,
some people had 4-2, 4-3.
My prediction was 4-3 actually. So yeah, great job to Justin, and
he's the winner of the
you
John
get your
Ogle shirt.
T-shirt. Yep.
So send us a DM if you're watching this, Nathaniel 1, and we will get your T-shirt sent down to you. And so far the biggest news in the world right now, Lionel Messi wants out of Barcelona. Lionel Messi sent a fax to Joseph Bartomeu saying that, I want to leave the club.
Yes.
I mean, it's a sad sight. There is no impossibility in football, but this was supposed to be an impossible thing. That Messi ever leaving Barcelona was supposed to be an impossible thing. But it has been looking like as if it's going to happen for a long time. And now it has finally happened. Messi has ended in the transfer request, said he wants to leave. Amanda, do you think Messi should leave Barcelona, or should he still stay?
I think he should leave Barcelona, honestly. I like when I see players accomplish something in one team and move. That is why I would always put Cristiano Ronaldo above Messi, because he has done it all. Did it in the Premier League, went to Spanish League, and of course now in Italy. So I would love to see Messi leave Barcelona. And of course I would want him to, even though City are my rivals, but just see Messi in the Premier League would be awesome. So I hope he does come to the Premier League.
Well, that was not the only thing that happened. 3 hours after he sent the fax, over 10 million tweets around the world, and he gained extra 2 million followers on Instagram. Lionel Messi started to go. The world of sport was brought to a halt just because of one man, and he didn't even utter a single word except a fax to the president. And first of all, it was Carles Puyol that said, "Respect and admiration, Leo. All support my friend." And you can see Luis Suarez with a double clap. That kudos to that. I think, and one thing happened with Luis Suarez. He got a 60-second call from Koeman saying they've terminated his contract. He's no longer a Barcelona player, and that is not good. For a player who is the 3rd highest goal scorer in your team, that is not good.
That's okay. So yeah, so our, of course, Manchester United captain, former captain Rio Ferdinand, tweeted and said, just heard Frank Lampard is now in for Messi. Some window this is if Lamps pull this off. Please don't go to Chelsea, Lionel Messi. It will be ridiculous. I mean, Chelsea are already going crazy right now in the league, so no.
And we have Wayne Rooney saying, if Liverpool get Thiago from Bayern Munich, I think it's done. That is a better signing than Messi going to Man City. How would Messi going to a club be a better
that is a
opinion than another player?
Statement.
I think Messi going to Manchester United will probably be one of the biggest transfers ever, and it will have an addition to that team. We still have more tweets to go.
Of course, so let's see. Yes, and ex-City captain Vincent Kompany tweeted, I hope Messi joins them. That's in reference to Man City. It'd be incredible for the club to have a player like him. He could help them take the next step by winning the Champions League. Exactly. I don't see, without Messi, trust me, Pep Guardiola can't win the Champions League. He proved that when he was in Bayern Munich. He needs Messi to win that Champions League.
It's a love affair. Everybody is waiting to see Messi reconciling with Pep Guardiola. And Chelsea's signing, is it aggressive or is this just what they need? Chelsea has been on the signing spree.
Yeah,
you can see they have signed 5 players and they are still waiting to make Kai Havertz one of the biggest signings so far in this transfer window. Amanda, Chelsea, are they title contenders, or is this a worthless signing spree?
No, it is definitely not worthless. They have bought players for each position they need. I mean, take for example Thiago Silva, who is their latest signing. He just, although he is old, 35, I mean, Chelsea, they have kids in their defense and they've made so many blunders. So bringing in a player such as Thiago Silva will be a great addition to their team. I mean, they needed goals. Timo Werner, they've gotten him. I mean, they are oppressing us. Manchester United, please, what do we have to do for you to sign a player? We need, Chelsea is tensioning us. Do something.
Chelsea is tensioning everybody in the Premier League, but Manchester United just got Dean Henderson. And now the story is Dean Henderson or David De Gea. Do you think they've given De Gea enough space to make errors? Do you think he has drawn his last straw for Manchester United?
David De Gea made the most errors in Premier League. He made 3 errors that led to a goal. Compared to Dean Henderson, he only made 1 error leading to a goal. And I mean, last season when David De Gea was in goal, I was always scared what is going to happen. So he's not really that Mr. Reliable anymore. And of course, Dean Henderson coming will only challenge him. Competition makes people better. So if Dean Henderson come, of course, David De Gea will still start the season as a goalkeeper. But if he starts messing up again, sorry, he has to be dropped, and I'll go for Dean Henderson to, be our new goalkeeper if needed. He actually won the Player of the Year in Sheffield, and this is his 2nd time in a row winning it. So he's actually a good signing. On
transfers, we have Ibrahimovic saying he's still signing 2021, and in rumors we have Luis Suarez. Pirlo has opted for Luis Suarez. He's now a free agent. Pirlo wants Luis Suarez. Messi has different stripes on his body. Nobody knows where Messi is going to next, but hopefully Man City might be the place. Arturo Vidal, Inter Milan, Nathan Miles. And now we move to the NBA. Amanda, what do you have for us?
Yes, so NBA, 3 days ago, which is 26th of August, the matches were suspended due to players-led protests in response to the killing of Jacob Blake in Wisconsin. If you're not familiar with who Jacob Blake is, he's a black man that was shot at the back 7 times by a police officer while he was trying to enter his car. And worst of all, his 3 kids were in the car while he got shot. So of course, this caused public outrage, and NBA players stood together and decided to boycott their matches, which led to a nationwide chain reaction in American sports. MLB, that's baseball, the MLS, WNBA, all stood in solidarity and boycotted their match. So, of course, some good news. The NBA players decided to resume their matches today following a productive meeting between league players and team governors in which new social justice promises were made. The Social Justice Coalition is going to focus on issues such as increasing access to voting, promoting civic engagement, and lastly, advocating for meaningful police and criminal justice reform. I think this is great by NBA players. This is, their voice has been really heard, and change is definitely happening.
And we have Toronto Raptors, Nick Nurse named the coach of the year, and also Brett Brown of 76ers has been sacked after 7 seasons. That is Brett Brown. After 7 seasons is gone, Hamilton is excited that it came to her that there's more competition in the Formula One this season. And we also have Formula One honoring Anthony Hubert, who died last year during a race. And they'll be honoring him later today in the Belgian Grand Prix. That's Antoine Hubert, who died in the F2 race last year. They'll be giving him a 1-minute silence. And Dillian Whyte was knocked out.
Yes,
he's seeking a rematch.
Yeah, in boxing, Dillian Whyte was knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. Sadly, last Saturday, he was controlling the fight, and in the 5th round, Povetkin landed a left uppercut, and Dillian Whyte found himself on the ground.
And
so
you have Joshua and Fury in 2021. An interview with Sky Sport yesterday. Joshua said he's going to knock out Fury in the 6th round. Let's see that happen in 2021. And I think that's all we have for you today on the sports segment. My name is Ayo Adams.
And I am Amanda Soki. Thank you for joining us, and hope to see you next week at The Weekend Show. You can find me on social media at Amanda Soki on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Ayo Adams. You can find me on Mr. Chase. See you next week. Bye.
All right.